Well, good afternoon. It's Jim Owens. It's been a while since I've spent a little bit of time with you. A little gruff this morning or today. I've had a little bit of the early onset of hay fever in the fall, so I apologize for being a little gravelly today. I had a few thoughts this morning about some things I've been reflecting on that I jotted down and thought I'd share them with you today in the hope that they would encourage you. And they have to do with what my morning rituals are like. And like most people, I get up every morning and stagger out of bed and plop in a Keurig coffee pod into my Keurig and listen for the sound of the gurgling coffee to tell me that life is about to begin anew in the mornings. And typically, I'll start my days with a little bit of reading. I'll find something inspirational to read, and I might write in my journal some personal thoughts or some reflections. I'll spend a little time sometimes editing a manuscript that I'm working on, or just generally going about my day, writing in my journal, trying to kind of get my mind right for the day. And after I grab my second cup of coffee, I typically head out onto the deck and I will spend a few moments just reading through some websites and trying to pick up a little bit of information about the day and the news and whatnot. And thanks to USA Today, they have a little section every morning that says the 5 things you need to know today. And so that is kind of an interesting concept to me. There's really only 5 things. That's 5 right there. 5 things I need to know. And I think, well, thanks USA Today. There's just 5. I thought there were a whole lot more, but it turns out they think there's only 5. And so that's gotten me to thinking about some things that I really think I need to know every day and wondering if maybe you need to know them as well. And they're not news related, they're not media related, and this is not a time to bash the media for anything. So they're just some thoughts I've had about what's important for me to remember every day. So I jotted these thoughts down, and I'll tell you that I'm pretty careful about what I let inside my head. I know the world has all kinds of problems. I'm not naive. I realize that there's violence and political rhetoric and all kinds of things bad happen in the world every day. But I try not to bury my head in the sand while at the same time realizing that garbage in, garbage out applies. What I let in here often affects my day and how I approach things. So I've come up with not a list of 5, but only 3 things to share with you today. I may have a few others I'll share in another video. And here they are. The first one is that how I think about the world, about my life and other people is up to me. With all the things that we face every day, we need to remember that every day people get up and go to work to support their families. Most people, in fact, do get up with the attitude that they would like to love their families, provide for them, cure diseases, build houses, and do any number of positive things. They're working for peace and they're caring for the aging. They're doing many noble things that we never really think about, that we never talk about. And sure, the world has its litany of problems, but I think about them and the people that cause them, or how I think about them, and the people that cause those problems really is up to me. I just need to remember that I write the story and that I just need to be sure that it doesn't become a story of just despair and hopelessness. Reflecting on what Paul Harvey used to call the rest of the story, the things I've mentioned here, they're really part of the central story of our lives, the good things that go on, the things that are noble and true and honest and healthy. So be sure to include that as you write your story today and through the weekend. The second thing I would tell you is that people are important. Yes, people will disappoint you. They'll hurt your feelings. They'll be unkind. They'll be rude. They will do any number of things that we think oftentimes are inappropriate or inconsiderate. But whether you believe in karma or you believe in the law of attraction or just that you reap what you sow, seeing people as a means to your own happiness or an obstacle, perhaps, it'll just in the end make you feel more miserable, I think. I know it can make me feel more miserable as I meditate on or cogitate on or ruminate on those things that are not pleasant always. There are unpleasant things in life, and we have to move past those if we're going to be masters, so to speak, of our own minds. I think that we're all frail and we're all imperfect and sometimes selfish, and sometimes people wander through their lives collecting their pain and hiding their losses until it ruptures kind of like a festering boil, and then we're the victim of that pain. And so, if people are important, I think to see your relationships as an end unto themselves rather than just a means for something for your own happiness is important. Even when people upset you or hurt you or do things that take you for granted, I think that it's really important that you recognize how important they are to the world. Even the people that cause you strife and the pain you encounter can be a great teacher for how you can live your life more effectively. When you can learn to be grateful for even the painful things that you experience, recognizing that people are important in that regard, I think it becomes a very powerful tool. Now, that doesn't mean being a doormat or allowing yourself to be abused or anything like that. It's just taking responsibility for what goes on in between your ears. So refer to item one, that what you think about the world and your experience and the people in it is up to you. The last thing I'd say on my list of the three things that are you need to know today are to invest in yourself. Many of us think that I believe in some sense that we should be doing better as individuals, that we should do more for our communities and for our families and for our business. And oftentimes we think we should do more for our kids in the world today. We have become really child centered in so many ways, particularly as parents, that we sacrifice for our kids and our families, all of which is good. I'm not arguing that we shouldn't, but I am suggesting that to be able to give to everyone, you have to take time to invest in yourself. We exhaust ourselves by striving to do everything and be busy, and sometimes we become human doings rather than human beings. And if we want to invest ourselves in ourselves if we want to invest in and provide for others and protect them and comfort them, we have to be present to win. Just like if you have a ticket, if you're not present at the drawing, you may not win. Well, if you're not present in life, emotionally and physically and psychologically and spiritually, if you haven't taken time to take care of those things, then you may not be present when you need to be. In any number of ways, you could find yourself ill, you can find yourself just not here anymore, gone on to your great reward, whatever that might be. But I think that scheduling some time for yourself every day, not just occasionally, putting it on the calendar for a time to write or to paint or to nap. Heavens forbid you take a nap and you, quote, have nothing to do. That seems to be a huge issue within our world today, that busyness is somehow equated with happiness, or that somehow we have to spend more time and that time management is what's the key, when really that it's energy management. It's about being able to be present and energetic and positive. Yeah, time's important. You have to be with people that you love and care about and causes that you care about, but you need to be fully present at those times. And that's why energy management is so important. You could spend some time praying or meditating or even knitting or dancing or singing. Heaven forbid you actually have some fun and act the fool, if you will, and enjoy life a little more. But all those things that you can do, whatever they are that recharge you, I urge you to find those things and invest in yourself. Ride a horse, learn to paint. Just realize it's not selfish. It's essential. People are important, and you're a people. You're a people, whether you realize it or not. Now, I know there are more things I could add to this list. There are things that I could drone on and on about, but I'm not going to do that today. I may take a nap. I may do some other things with my time to invest in myself and to be more capable of being the person that I aspire to be. I would always welcome your comments, your observations, your thoughts, positive or negative, because I learn from them. And if you found this video encouraging or helpful in any way, I hope you'll share it. I hope you'll reach out to me and let me know what your thoughts are. And I hope that today, since it's Friday, that your week is winding down, you get a good long weekend of rest, and that you do some things that bring you joy as you invest in yourself and as you think about what goes on in your mind is under your power, and as you recognize that people are important. Have a great day. I'm Jim Owens. Goodbye.